Yes, Casanovians. Yes, the Casanovians. Right, boys, in this one, I want to walk you through your very first cold approach session, okay? So I'm really making this video for the absolute beginners, the guys who maybe have just stumbled across this type of content, or maybe guys who've been following it for a long time, but they've still not pulled the trigger yet. So by the end of this video, you're gonna be equipped with everything you need to go out, do your very first cold approach session, be able to annihilate that initial resistance that you're probably feeling, you know, the heart palpitations, the sweaty palms, the rejecting yourself on the girl's behalf, the thinking too many steps ahead, the experiencing failure in advance. We're gonna destroy all of that in this video, but understand, theory can only take you so far. What I really need you boys to do to show myself, the universe, and most importantly yourself, that you're serious about crushing it with cold approach is transmute information into implementation. So after you've watched this video, and this is step one, after you've watched this video, I want you to set the intention one day this week, preferably today, to go out into your city center and give yourself 30 minutes to do one direct cold approach. Okay, that's all we're gonna focus on. And it's super important that you boys give yourself a clear time frame, right? 30 minutes, go hard, and then go home. If you haven't talked to anybody within those first 30 minutes, forget about it, get on with the rest of your day, hit it again another day. Otherwise, you're just gonna end up walking around for hours, talking to nobody, getting more and more stuck in your head. Then you'll go home and you probably won't wanna do cold approach again. So that's the first step. You watch this video and then you set the intention one day this week to just do one direct cold approach in 30 minutes. Now, let's talk about how you actually do the approach. Now, it's super simple. You just go over and you say something, right? That's all that you need to focus on. All you need to focus on is the first 3 seconds. All you need to focus on is the open. I have a lot of empathy for guys who actually want to become proficient with cold approach, because I think that the internet makes it more complicated than it actually is. Like, as soon as you go down the cold approach rabbit hole, as soon as you swallow the day game pill and you get introduced to this kaleidoscope of different lines and routines and formulas and models, it castrates you of your confidence, because the whole thing becomes unnecessarily complicated. My goal for this entire channel, this entire movement, is to make seduction simple. All right, that's the mission statement, to make seduction simple. I don't like the fact that guys are struggling to attract women, and I don't like the fact that so many men are getting brainwashed by the brain dead into focusing on the wrong metrics. It's like, oh, become a high value man, make lots of money, get an 8-pack, make sure you're making 8 figures, get a penthouse in Dubai, do the rented yachts and the rented Lambos, and then beautiful women are magically going to be throwing themselves at you. It's a complete fallacy. And the way that I know that is because these are the guys who I work with, the 6- and 7-figure entrepreneurs, the digital nomads, the execs, the investors. They still can't pull a muscle because they're focusing on the wrong metrics. That's why this video is so powerful, because I'm telling you boys what you need to know rather than what you want to hear. One day this week, set the intention to do one direct cold approach within 30 minutes. When you see that woman who you find attractive, all I need you to focus on is viewing the rep as the reward. Tell yourself nobody's allergic to a compliment. And the best advice I can give you to make sure you act on immediacy and don't bottle the approach is, when you see that woman, just say fuck it and then allow your legs to start walking. That's the most practical advice I can give anybody who's got a lot of anxiety towards approaching. What usually happens is 3 things. Like, when you see a woman, it's flight, fight, or freeze, right? Fight, flight, or freeze. Usually what happens when we see a gob-smackingly gorgeous girl who we want to talk to, we freeze. And the longer we stay in this frozen state, the more opportunity we give our mind to talk us out of the approach. So really what we're doing is we're anchoring immediacy. So this can be applied to anything as well. Like, whenever you've got resistance towards doing something, so approaching a girl, taking a cold shower, getting out of bed in the morning, just say fuck it and take the action. The more we can habitualize acting on immediacy, acting on impulse, not giving our mind time to talk us out of doing the difficult thing, the more effortless acting on immediacy is going to become. It's going to become something we are rather than something that we do. And then when we do see those opportunities, we can just go for it. Does that make sense? So to act on immediacy, You see the girl, you say fuck it, and then you just let your legs start walking, because as soon as you're in motion, the anxiety will start to dissipate. It's like Alfred Hitchcock once said, there's no terror in the bang, only in the anticipation of it, right? We suffer more in imagination than in reality, and most worries never come true. I think it was Mark Twain who said, I've had so many problems in my life, many of which never happened, right? So that experiencing failure in advance is also, that's the thing that's stopping you at the moment living your dream dating life. It's rejecting yourself on the opportunities that are being presented to you. So set the intention, one day this week, one direct cold approach. You view the rep as a reward. You remind yourself nobody's allergic to a compliment. You see that woman, you go over, and all you need to focus on is making her day, leaving her better than you found her. So when you see the woman, you walk over to her. She could be stationary, she could be walking, she could be sat down. You go over, you say, hey, excuse me, I know that this is really random, but I just wanted to say, you look amazing. What are you doing today? And then she's probably going to be blown away. Maybe your reaction's neutral. Maybe she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I've got a boyfriend. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about how she reacts, whether it's positive, negative. It's all neutral anyway. Like, nothing's good nor bad. It's the thinking that makes it so. We are action focused rather than outcome dependent, right? All I need you to focus on, if you're completely new to this, you've got a lot of anxiety, you've got a lot of social resistance, just go out to make one woman feel beautiful, because you don't want to deny that woman the opportunity to feel beautiful. This is why I believe cold approach can change the world, because it can change someone's world. By you going out with the intention of making one woman feel beautiful, you also then get to feel great as well, yeah? So you go out with the intention, one direct cold approach, say fuck it, let your legs do the walking, your mouth do the talking. Hi, excuse me, this is really random. You look amazing. What are you doing today? Now, the reason why I want you to force yourself to ask that question, what are you doing today, is because it's going to train you to stay in the conversation after the compliment. A big sticking point that I see with guys, and you'll most likely experience this yourself as well, is you want to leave the conversation too early. The industry calls this premature ejaculation, right? So you don't want to be leaving straight after the compliment. You don't want to be just doing these scammy hit and runs. Like, hi, excuse me, you look really nice. Okay, bye. Like, that's a win if you've managed to do that. But I want you to push yourself when you go out there, because by forcing yourself to stay in that conversation longer than you feel comfortable, you are investing into your future capability to have cold approach conversations. So go out, go over, hey, this is really random, you look amazing, wait, what are you doing today, right? And then just marinate in the moment, spend that time under tension, find out what she's actually doing today. And then if your mind goes blank, you can do two things. You can either wish her a good day, or if you've got a big set of balls, you can say, hey, listen, I need to go, but you look great. I want to take you out on a date. Once I've finished this live stream and I've got back to my apartment and had a well-deserved shower, sweaty as fucking Bangkok, dude, I'll link a video below, and that essentially gives you boys everything you need in order to get results from cold approach. It's a video where I approach 33 girls in East London, and I essentially eradicate anybody else's teaching in this space, right? Like, all that this comes down to, game, conversation skills, cold approach, it just comes down to two key elements: open and close, right? If you can get really great at opening and really great at closing, meaning that you go into your approaches with full conviction, you have a smile on your face, you aim to leave every woman better than you found her, your lifestyle's on point, you become the most fuckable version of yourself, and you know how to actually pull the trigger and close, go for the number, go for the instant date, you're going to be unstoppable in the sexual marketplace. Open and close. That's all this comes down to. I think a big reason why guys struggle so much is because they just think they need to do so much. It's like, oh, I need to have this like 8-minute long poetic masterpiece conversation. I need to build all this bulletproof investment. I need to be witty. I need to be charming. I need to be funny. And yeah, look, dude, all those things are going to help. I think it is important that you can do those things. But the deeper that I've gone in this process, the more I've actually just boiled it down to its essence. The more I realize that seduction is actually very simple. All this comes down to is becoming the most fuckable version of yourself, meaning you get your fitness, your fashion, your finances on point, and then you use this thing that we call game as a way of delivering your value to the world. I think all it is just developing your fuckability as a man, and then just growing a big set of balls. And the way that you grow that big set of balls is by taking a lot of action, because belief follows action, right? So the more approaches that you do, the easier cold approaches become. Every approach that you're doing, you're investing into the identity of the person who you want to embody, right? I started cold approach at 13 years old when I became a magician, right? So at 13 years old, I had severe social anxiety. I struggled socially for a long time. I couldn't even speak to my own family. It was just too much for me. So I started practicing and performing magic. I went around parks in the Lake District, spent about a couple of months just like constantly bottling the approaches, like, like just like seeing people I wanted to approach, but just like, I just couldn't do it. And now fast forward to where I'm at now, 27 years old, I've become the best in the world at what I do. I get the best client results in the industry. And the reason why I get spectacular results with guys fast is because they're getting almost 15 years of social experience condensed into a single weekend. Yeah, this is the reason why guys work with me, is because they want to fast track the process. They're like, wow, Kristian's the best in the world at this. I can see the results that he gets. Evidence has got the loudest voice. I want to work with him. And then change happens fast. So this is literally the process, right? Set the intention, go out, do one direct cold approach, aim to leave that woman better than you found her, view the rep as the reward, understand that cold approach, it just comes down to open and close, right? And as like a little bonus, what I would say as well is when you do get outside, just start walking a bit slower, yeah? Because your physiology will impact your psychology. So when you get outside into a busy area, maybe it's your city centre, maybe it's a busy high street, maybe it's a park that's super busy for some unknown reason, most guys have a tendency to speed up. And if you're walking fast, you're most likely going to talk fast, you're going to think fast, and the conversations that you have may come across as too chaotic, too erratic. This is what it was for me in the early days. Like, you can go back and watch the early infield footage on this channel. My entire process since I started cold approach, like direct cold approach for romantic reasons, 4 years ago, it's all documented on this channel, right? This entire channel is a chronological catalogue of content to demonstrate that the way you start is not the way that you finish, right? I was a porn addict. I had erectile dysfunction. I looked like a turnip. I dressed like a moron. I had £24.82 a universal credit in my bank account. Fast forward to today, life is a lot different. So use me as an example, right? Whatever excuses you want to make, whatever bullshit reasons you've got, it's like Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right either way. So make sure that your movements are slow. Breathe. Take it in. Yeah, pay attention to life. Say what you can see. When you first get out your door, take big breaths. Right? The world is here to serve you. The people are not against you. Right? Like, don't go anywhere to have a bad time. You can either operate from that place of optimism or from that place of pessimism. Perception is very much reality. If you think when you leave the house today that everybody's going to be rude, the women are not going to be receptive, nobody likes you, that's the reality that you'll experience. Or you can decide to have optimism in the absence of certainty. That's how I define confidence. It's optimism in the absence of certainty, meaning that you don't know what you don't know at the moment. So you may as well just err on the side of optimism, right? You don't know what you don't know. If you've never done a cold approach before, then you don't know what you don't know. So you may as well attack it with full optimism in the absence of certainty. And remind yourself as well that when you are out there today, you don't have as much time as you think you do, right? We don't know when our final day is here, right? Eternity is a long time and we're too long dead. So whilst we're alive on this earth, let's not settle for a life of mediocrity. That's why I make these videos. It's for the action takers, it's for the renegades, it's for the pirates, it's for the guys who are sick of mediocrity, guys who've got to a point in their life where they're just disgusted with themselves, their dating life, their finances, their lifestyle, and they're ready to evolve. They're ready to become the most fuckable version of themselves. They're ready to have a top 1% dating life. They're ready to have dates on demand with gob-smackingly gorgeous girls. These are the people that I'm making these videos for. Like, you might not be the finished product yet, and that's okay. Like, evil is the knowledge that believes itself complete. That's John Milton. Evil is the knowledge that believes itself complete. Having this obsession with progression, aiming to get 1% better every day, and understanding that, and this is really important, cold approach is a catalyst for the rest of our lives. Yeah, so by you coming out here today, putting yourself through the social fire, doing that doing that difficult thing, which 99% of guys are never going to have the balls to do, you already separate yourself from the herd. And this bleeds over into all other aspects of your life. Like, by unlocking this decentralized skill set of the top 1%, which is cold approach, you're going to make more money. You're going to live a better life. You're going to have more rock star confidence. You're going to be able to get what you want rather than settling for what you think you can get. And you're going to feel more fulfilled overall, because you know at any point you're never going to slump into the shackles of scarcity. You know that wherever you go in the world, you're going to be able to create social connections. You're going to be able to create opportunities. You're going to have multiple dates. You're going to have dates on demand. That's why I think we need more in this modern world where the majority of people are suffocating that comfort quicksand. If you can be that radically ambitious man who can go out today and just do one direct cold approach, then you're on your way, and I salute you. And I hope to see you inside my private network, the Entourage, one day. This is what it's about, right? Doing what scares you, dive bombing into discomfort, catapulting yourself beyond the carousel of comfort, and forging a new identity through the fires of adversity. So, set the intention, one day this week, preferably today, go out into your city centre. Yes, it's busy. Yes, it's scary. Yes, people are looking at you. Forget it. It doesn't matter. In 100 years' time, none of this is going to matter anyway. Find one woman. Dude, it doesn't even need to be a gob-smackingly gorgeous girl. It could be a hashtag milkshake. That's what I did when I first started in Leeds during the pandemic in 2020. I was focusing my efforts on older women, hashtag milkshakes, because they just felt more comfortable to me. Right? It just felt like an easier way to socially lubricate myself. So I think just setting the bar low to get started. Like, if your first approach of your life is a hashtag milkshake, a 43-year-old housewife in, I don't know, Chelmsford, then dude, you've done it. You're on your way, right? The mind doesn't really know that much difference. It's like, oh, we did a scary thing today. We cold approached a woman in front of everybody on a busy high street. Yay, well done. So yeah, you can start off with a hashtag milkshake, or if you really want to push yourself, then fine, just approach that absolute 10. Tell her she looks amazing. Ask her what she's doing today. The reps are the reward. No one's allergic to a compliment. And then just make sure that you honor that time limit. Give yourself 30 minutes, because work expands to fill the time allocated to it. I think that's Parkinson's law. So like, if you give yourself 2 hours, it'll take 2 hours. If you give yourself 30 minutes, it'll take 30 minutes. If you're on a tighter schedule, then give yourself 15 minutes. One direct cold approach, that's all I need you to do, because what you'll most likely find is once you've done one, you'll have enthusiasm to do more. If I was to say to you, let's say your name's John, right, John, I want you to go out into your city centre today and do 5. 5 might seem scary. And if you get, let's say you got 3 approaches, you'd be like, oh, fuck, I didn't get 5. But by aiming to just do 1, and let's say you end up doing 3, you're going to have exceeded your expectations. You're going to get a beautiful dopamine spike, and it's going to make you excited to do even more. So set the bar low. Just focus on doing 1. Focus on doing 1 direct cold approach within 30 minutes today. Go out, make one woman feel beautiful. And then once you've done it once, you're going to be riding on what I call godly frequency. You're going to start experiencing success in advance. You're going to get out of your head into your body. You're going to realize your limitations were well and truly hallucinations, and it's going to hold a spotlight up to the rest of your life. And you're going to think, fuck, if I can cold approach, I can do anything. I can do anything that I want. No matter what, I can handle it. Throw me in hell, I'll find a way to enjoy it. Do you understand? Like, this is why I'm so passionate about this stuff, because cold approach will genuinely change your fucking life. It's changed my life, and it's changed the lives of all the guys who I work with. This process will completely change your life because it changes who you are at your very core. Forget about who you've been. Forget about all the bullshit. Forget about all the mistakes and the fuck-ups. The universe doesn't give a fuck about who you were. It gives a fuck about who you want to be, right? That's what coaching is. I focus on who guys want to become. Therapy is about talking about the past. Coaching is focused on the future. I don't give a fuck if you were bullied. I don't give a fuck if you had a difficult childhood. I don't give a fuck if you were brought up on a council estate in a single parent household and your mum was working multiple jobs. I don't give a fuck about any of that. Right? We transmute the pain into power. We turn our wounds into wisdom, and we become that version of ourselves who we need to be, who we're destined to be. Yeah? It doesn't happen by luck, it happens by design. So forget about who you've been. This is the way to actually forge that new identity for yourself. It's by doing difficult things. Yeah, because most people are just not trying. Most people are swiping their lives away on a... They're watching videos like these purely for entertainment. They're not doing anything with it. Your competition are not even trying. And then the final thing, so I want to reward people who've watched this live stream all the way to the end, understand the power of the compounding effect. by you starting today, by you doing your very first direct cold approach today, your future self is going to thank you. Maybe 1 month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now, you're in Guatemala and you see a gobsmackingly gorgeous girl strutting past you, and let's say you go over to her because you've been putting the reps in for 3 months. Let's say that approach goes amazing, and imagine that you're on a date with her, and imagine the date goes amazing, imagine the two of you enjoy a magical evening together. That Guatemala approach didn't come about from that approach. That approach was the culmination of the compounding of all the cold approaches that you've done before that. In the same way that when I cold approach now, it's not that approach which matters. It's all of the approaches which have preceded it. So like now when I move through the world, I am an amalgamation of all of the investments that I've made. You know, like if you're an investor and you have that compounding interest over time, it's the same thing with cold approach. It's the same thing with social skills. You become what you practice, right? You become what you practice, but most people don't understand this because we live in this age addicted to instant gratification. We are addicted to immediacy. People don't have the necessary patience. It's like speed and patience. It's like, you know, when people say it's a marathon, not a sprint. Well, it's like sprinting whilst doing a marathon. It's just like taking those actions every single day, investing into the identity of the person who you want to embody, and understand that the actions that you take today, tomorrow, next week, you won't see the full potential of your actions, maybe for another couple of months, maybe for another couple of years. But that's why this is an investment into the long game, right? This is a lifetime skill. It's a lifelong pursuit towards self-mastery, towards personal renaissance, becoming the most fuckable version of yourself. This is the video that I wish had been available to me when I first started. Like, make seduction simple. Go out, do one direct cold approach, make one woman feel beautiful. Hey, really random, you look amazing. What are you doing today? Oh, I'm going shopping. Okay, great, let's go out for Mai Tais. Use WhatsApp, amazing, put your number in. Boom, done it. You just completed your first cold approach, so well done. And then it's just rinse and repeat. And I would say, as I say across this channel, aim to do 100 direct cold approaches ASAP. You can do 100 direct cold approaches in a week if you're strategic about it. Once you've done 100 direct cold approaches, you'll start to develop proficiency. You'll start to find your flow. You'll start to know how to handle objections, how to deal with rejections. You'll develop more emotional resilience. You'll know how to open, converse, close. You'll have more experience. You'll have more evidence. You'll have more feedback. And then it's about iterating on that feedback, being relentless, being consistent, and not stopping until you're satisfied, right? So yeah, 100 direct cold approaches ASAP, but it all starts with one, right? The journey of a million miles starts with a single step. So take that single step out of your house, breathe, take a look at the world around you, understand the world is not a scary place, understand the universe actively wants you to win. Make sure your actions match your ambitions. Make one woman feel beautiful. If you can do one approach, you can do 10 approaches. If you can do 10 approaches, you can do 50. If you can do 50, you can do 100. If you can do 100 direct cold approaches, you can do anything, right? Love yous. Bye. Mwah.